'Cause I got issues.
Having some issues? Kat can help you out with the help of our listeners. Kat Chat starts now on Y107.
Her fiance's obsessed with his boss, and she's ready to shut it down. Suzie has been with her guy for 3 years, engaged for 1 year, so the wedding's getting close the next several months. Everything's been great until he landed this new job, and now all he can talk about is his boss, his new boss, which is a female, and says that she, quote unquote, inspires him, brings out the best in him, and is like the best person he knows. And he even posts pictures of them together and like constantly repeats things that she says and stuff.
Oh, yeah?
So he's obsessed. Suzie tried telling him this is weird, and he just like brushed it off, like completely ignored her. So now she's like, all right, well, I'm going to take your boss to lunch and tell her to back off. And her sister says, no, you don't need to be doing that. You need to be staying out of it and just wait for this to blow over. Or if it doesn't, you got your answer. So I kind of have to admit this is a little trigger for me. I'll tell you why later. But this is a heck of a situation to be in. So what's your advice for Suzie? I love what Tasha said on the Facebook. She said, Suzie needs to just let this fish off the hook. Either he just isn't ready to settle down, or he isn't wanting to settle down with her. This isn't on the boss. It's on her fiance. A man who truly loves you will never make you second guess where you stand with him.
Very good.
So good.
This is Kat Chat on Y107.
Bill says, let it go. If it's nothing more than an employee-boss relationship, then lunch and telling his boss to back off could really screw up his job for him. If he's coming home on time, if is he staying out all night? If he isn't, then pretty sure that there's nothing going on. There are some really good bosses out there that just really do inspire their employees to strive and do and be better.
Right. And that's something to definitely pay attention to. And I love what Margaret said on the Y107 Morning Show Facebook page. This will definitely backfire, and Suzie will end up looking like the crazy one if she goes after the boss. So it'll push him away, and sometimes it's best to just leave the situation alone, or it's going to damage your relationship, and he's going to feel like he's not trusted by you. And, it's just best to discuss it like adults. Let him know, hey, I seriously want to talk about this because I feel like boundaries need to be set. This is how it's making me feel. And my feelings are valid.
Absolutely.
I like what Robin on the Facebook page said. She's looking at it a little bit different. She's like, okay, so I had a situation with a contractor who was doing some work on my house where it was the same thing. He was young enough to be my son, but we just totally clicked. And he helped me through the whole situation, and they got, they really had a good friendship that, sprung up from this or whatever. And that did not mean that she, had romantic feelings for him or anything like that.
Right.
And so it could be completely innocent. And
it could just be that he's fired up for this new job, and maybe it's a completely different thing that he had done before, and he's doing really well, and now he's kind of got a groove.
Right. And she says, she brings up a really good point, Robin does.
Oh, cool.
So maybe Susie's guy just feels seen. It's okay for people to form friendships and professional relationships with others, to enjoy interacting with them, and to find their presence and be stepping into their greatness because it's being called out in them. And so his boss may just be a really good leader that makes him feel significant, and he is stepping into that, and he's excited about it. So she said, you know what? First, Suzie, just deconstruct your feelings. Get to the bottom of why you're so quick to jump to the conclusion that he's having an affair or whatever. Is there anything, and then look, is there anything else that has happened, in the past or anything like that? And also, maybe meet the boss in a social setting with an open heart, open mind. Maybe the boss can be a friend to you as well. So, or maybe you're right, but either way, going to the boss is not demanding she back off is not the way to go.
Don't do that. I think we've come to the conclusion. I know you got your final thoughts coming up here
Yeah.
But just about everybody on Facebook has said, no, don't make it a line in the sand, kind of a lunch meeting or something. I love the idea of the social setting. If there's going to be a summer work picnic or some kind of something, that's the setting, not a go to lunch and have an ultimatum kind of a thing. Stay away from my man.
Right.
You know, who you're dealing with.
That's kind of my final thoughts too, is you're going to be able to tell looking at them and seeing how they interact with one another, what's going on. Even if they're trying to hide it, if there's some inappropriate feelings there and stuff, you're going to be able to see it and you're going to feel it in your gut. So pay attention to that gut. But what I want to say is, number one, the most important thing to do is whenever she approached him, was it accusatory? Was it, like, oh, you talk about her so much and da-da-da, are you jumping down his throat? Is that why he ignored your concerns? Or is he just truly ignoring your concerns, And so that's one point to look at. If you talk to someone and you tell them your feelings are valid and no one can negate those. And so they need to take them seriously, even if that's not where they're coming from. If they're not coming from a place of trying to hurt you, they need to say that, but also say, yeah, I hear your concerns.
Yeah, and we don't know if Suzie had been a victim of, infidelity before, a guy she was with, right? And she's got scar tissue and she's automatically jumping to that when she wouldn't necessarily need to.
Which is easy to do. That's why it's so important that we do self-work. We have to work through the things that have scarred us. Trust me, Suzie, I have been in this situation, and mine didn't turn out so hot. My ex, got real excited over his boss getting divorced and overly excited. So I kind of was like, I'm going to pay attention to this. And it did end up being an affair, and now they're married and everything else. So it's definitely something to watch and be on guard about, but also don't be defensive right off the bat until you have the conversation. Keep yourself calm. It's so important to keep our emotions out of the mix until we know something, is going on or whatever. And then I will say that this is definitely something that if you're going to be with this person forever, it is very important to put yourself first to where you are able to go through watching for signs and things like that. Always keep our eyes open, even if you have full trust with your significant other, always keep your eyes open and be cognizant of what you're doing as well. Just like if you are, like Susie's going at him like, hey, this is making me feel uncomfortable. Also be open when they come to you and tell you, okay, this made me uncomfortable, so it has to go both ways. And man, more power to you, girl. Just keep watching. We're here.
Keep the Cat Chat going now on Facebook Y107 Morning Show.